welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Marina here, and as always I'm excited to come to you in another video. You guys have become like my family, and it's always so exciting when I get a chance to sit down and have a conversation with you guys. How you are doing? If it's your first time here, you're welcome. My name is Marina. I'm a Nigerian Canadian living in Saskatchewan in Canada, and on this channel I share information to make settling into life in Canada seamless for newcomers and foreign trained professionals. So if this is the kind of information that interests you, please do well to hit the subscribe button below and turn on the notification so you get notified every time I upload new content. To my returning subscribers, my favorite people ever, thank you guys so much for always coming back. It is always such a pleasure to have you here. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing something that I feel like my intro is like cut and paste. But anyway, in today's video I'm going to be addressing something that I have been asked a number of times. So when I put out the video about the reason why I quit my job, if you haven't seen that video, I'm going to link it somewhere on the screen. If you're watching on a mobile device, you will see it, but if it's on the TV, it would not come up. I'll link it in the description box as well, so if you want to check it out, you can find the link in the description box. In that video, somebody actually asked me about job hopping. Like when I said I stayed in that job for almost 4 years, somebody asked me why I stayed in one position for almost 4 years. Like, why didn't I move around? Because clearly they have heard something about job hopping, so they wanted to know why I made the decision to stay with one employer for almost 4 years. And then recently I was on a panel conversation where myself and a couple of other HR professionals were talking to newcomers to Canada about landing your dream job and the tips to excelling in a dream job, and that question came up again. So I'm like, you know what, I'll just make a video to address this. So that's kind of why I'm talking about what I'm talking about today, which is loyalty versus job hopping when you consider your career in Canada. You guys, this is about to be juicy, so pull some popcorn, get a drink, sit back, let's rub minds together in this conversation. First off, to address the one about my job, which is the direct question that I was asked. I stayed in that employment for almost 4 years, but I moved positions multiple times in the same organization, right? So I did not do the same thing for the entire duration while I was there. I moved position maybe like 3 times within that almost 4-year duration, so I was not doing the same thing. That's the reason why I did not leave sooner. Like, there were opportunities for me to do other things. There were opportunities for me to advance my career within that organization. So that's the reason why I stayed for as long as I did. Okay, so then coming back to the conversation of loyalty versus job hopping. So if you don't understand what I mean when I say loyalty is when people choose to stay with one employer for like a long period of time. When I say long period of time, there are people who stay with one employer for 10 years. There are some people who stay with one employer for 30, 40 years and retire there. I have met people like that. In my previous employment, there were people who celebrated 30 years work anniversary. There are people who celebrated 40 years work anniversary. So people are staying with employers that long. Alternatively, job hopping is the opposite, where people choose to switch employers every 18 months to 2 years. Like, I know some people who have changed jobs every year. So we're going to talk about that, like what are the advantages and disadvantages of being loyal, staying in one organization, as against hopping from one employer to the other. I think both of them have their advantages. For loyalty, some people are concerned about long-term benefits, like retirement benefits, where the longer you stay within a certain organization, the more benefits you're able to access, the more vacation time you're able to accrue. If you get salary increases every year, you can increase your income. If it's a large organization that has different divisions or different units, you can advance your career in different parts of the same organization. So for some people, that's what the thrill is. For some people, they find that organization where they are aligned with the culture, the values, the mission of the organization, and there's no need for them to change. So they stay there just because I'm in this organization, I like the culture, I like whatever it is that happens here, so I'm going to stay here, which is absolutely fine. That's the advantage of being loyal. An advantage of job hopping, like a lot of people say, is that you stand the chance to make, if money is your drive, if money is the top on the list of things that drive you depending on the employer you're going to. If money is a drive, job hopping is one quick way to make more money. Yearly salary increases within one organization can range from maybe like 3 to 15% depending on performance and things like that. But if you job hop, you can negotiate 20, 30, 50% salary increases when you're going to the next employer. It has happened like that for some people. It doesn't happen the same way for everyone, but that's an advantage. People say if you're looking to make more money, then moving from one employer to the other is a very quick way to do that. The disadvantages of both, of course, loyalty. The disadvantage of loyalty is if money again is a drive, you might not get as much money as you would if you were going to a different employer to negotiate more to negotiate more money, to negotiate more benefits, to negotiate more vacation time. That's very limited if you remain within the same organization. And then the tendency for you to become a local champion, for lack of a better way to explain it, is higher if you remain within the same organization. There's just something that fresh perspective does to your head, to your mind, to your career. Just that fresh, learning a new system afresh, learning new cultures, learning new systems afresh. As somebody who just made a move to a new employer, I'm enjoying what I'm seeing from just learning a new way of doing things. So it's fresh perspective. It's a fresh opportunity for me to share my creative ideas and things like that. When you have remained within the same organization, the chances that you would not want to come up with anything new and fresh will be high because you have been there, done that, you have seen it all, right? So that's just one downside of being loyal. The downside of job hopping, you guys, let's talk about that as well. As a recruiter, if I pull up somebody's resume and I see that they have had a different employer every year, it will bring flags to me. It will bring up flags, because then you start to question things like, okay, are there behavioral problems? Is this person getting fired from all of these employers? Is this a voluntary move? What are the chances that if I hire this person and train them 12 months, 18 months down the line, they are not going to do the same thing that they have been doing? So all of those flags come up as a recruiter when I pull up a resume like that. I'm just going to talk generally about both. In fairness, I see movement a lot with newcomers, especially in the first 3 to 4 years of their careers. A lot of people move. And the reason is because when you're trying to land that first job, you almost always settle for a job that may be less than the education and the experience that you bring. So sometimes people settle for that first job. They settle for what is available, not what they're truly qualified for. So after a while, maybe after 1 year, when they have gotten their foot in the door, then they start to look for opportunities that are more commensurate with their education and their experience, and then they move. And then sometimes you do roles like that for maybe 18 months to 2 years, and you think, okay, maybe in the process while you were doing that second job, you were getting a certification on the side, or you were working towards a license, and when that license is complete or the certification is complete, then you see a need to move into something even higher. So it's not unusual for newcomers to want to move in the first couple of years that they have lived in a country like Canada. But after you have settled and then the certification is complete, the license is complete, whatever it is you're looking for is complete, if you still are in the habit of moving roles every year or every 18 months, you want to be very strategic in how you're doing it, because what is the justification? If you're moving from one employer to the other, you're asking for a 30% salary increase, a 40% salary increase. How do you justify that? Are you upskilling? Are you building competence? Are you building capacity? Are you building skills? Are you building subject matter expertise in your field? So that if you say, I want 50% salary increase, an employer doesn't have a choice, because they know that your expertise is not easy to come by. You have to first of all consider the industry that you're in. Are you in a difficult, an industry where roles are difficult to fill, where the skills that you have is niche? For the people who are in those niche positions, the chances that you will be able to get more money when you job skill is higher. If you're in a position, however, where it is not a niche position, you can easily be replaced. The skills that you utilize in that position are very general and not niche down. Then you also want to be careful how you job hop, because you might just be shooting yourself in the foot when you do that, because then that way it will scream desperation. It will just scream something's wrong with this person. There's a behavioral problem. For you not to be able to stay with one employer beyond 18 months, maybe something is wrong with you. That can be a disadvantage. So you want to be sure that you're being strategic in how you're doing job hopping, if that's the option that you're going for. Consider the industry that you're in. Consider the skills and the competencies that are needed to become a subject matter expert in that field, and then consider how well you compete with the level of competency, with the level of expertise that you are asking somebody to pay for. Because an employer is not just going to pay you because you ask. They're going to pay you because they will put a value, they will put a premium on the value they think you will provide to them. That's what determines how much money employers will offer you. And if you're not able to live up to that, if you're not able to come at the level where you have given them the impression, if you give an employer the impression that you can function at a certain level and they're paying you at that level, the expectation is that you're going to deliver at that level. And if you're not able to do that, you're going to get in trouble. If you're not able to deliver at the level where somebody is paying you, of course, nobody wants to be throwing their money away. If I'm going to pay you top dollar, then I expect top value. So you need to know your stuff. You need to know exactly what you're doing, so that if you're job hopping and saying, I want you to pay me this much money, you're able to justify it. You're able to provide the value that is commensurate with the money that you're asking for. So job hopping is not just going from one employer to the other and just asking for more money. What are you becoming in the process? Are you a subject matter expert? Are you building skills and competencies that will be hard to replicate in other places? That's the way you can ask for money with confidence, knowing that you're asking for money that is commensurate with the value that you can provide. So while you're job hopping, make sure that you're delivering value at the same level. Make sure you're building skills and capacity as you're job hopping, so that you're justifying what you're asking for. Okay? There's a certain way subject matter experts sound. When you're a professional, when you know the ins and the outs of what you're doing, there's a certain level of confidence that you use to communicate what you're doing. Well, we listen for things like that. Recruiters, hiring managers, listen for things like that. When you're in those conversations, when you're talking like you know what you're doing, hiring managers they will not have a lot of options but to offer you what you're asking for. So that's just the summary of, if you're going to job hop, you need to be strategic. You need to do it in a way that you don't come across as desperate or give the hiring manager or recruiter that the impression that something could be wrong with you. Maybe there's a behavioral problem and that's why you're moving from place to place. On the other hand, if you choose to remain loyal, there are other things that you can do as well. Depending on the size of the organization that you're in, I think you would be shortchanging yourself if you don't try to take a chance with different positions. If you have the option to cross-train, if you have the option to try out your hands in different areas, just so that you're building new experience, you're going to be working with a new set of stakeholders, you're building new skill, new capacity, building new relationships, take advantage of that. Don't just stay in the same role in the same organization forever, because you become stale. Your ideas become stale. Don't just stay in the same position doing the same things over and over, year in, year out. You're not learning anything new. You're not building any new capacity. You're not learning any new skills or building relationship with a new set of stakeholders. If you have the opportunity, if you have the option to cross-train and try your hands out in different departments, it can be within the same unit, it can be within the same division, but just try and do different things so that you're learning new things and you're keeping yourself updated with trends in your industry. That's an option that I think you should be open to. The fact that you're loyal to one employer does not mean you stay planted in the same role. You're not a tree. Please move. I heard that recently and it blew my mind. Like, you're not a tree. You can move. You're not a tree. If you're in an organization where that opportunity is available, then by all means consider it. If your motivation is more intrinsic, where you're looking at job satisfaction, like variety in your work, or some sort of self-worth with your job, and money is not an issue, then you should be looking for opportunities to maximize those things. So don't just stay in the same position, same organization, doing the same things year in, year out. Yeah, again, that local champion syndrome might set in. So whatever you're doing, whatever option you choose, just make sure that you're becoming a better professional. Whatever option you choose to go with, make sure that you're learning new things, you're upskilling where you have the opportunity, you're building new competency, you're building new capacity. Let's even now say we're not even considering the option of voluntary move. The organization can shut down. See what's happening in the tech world. Like, who knew that big organizations like the Amazon, the Facebook, the Twitters can let go of thousands of employees? That can happen to you. How competitive would you be for the next employer? So you have to think about it like that. So whatever you're doing, no matter how comfortable, no matter how stable your industry is, just make sure that as an individual, you're becoming a better professional, you're upskilling, you're improving yourself, and you're becoming a better person every day so that your value can increase. That's what will increase your value. How much improvement you're doing, how much development you have taken on as an individual, okay? So yeah, I just thought I could come share my 2 cents on this conversation today and get your ideas as well. Are you team job hop or are you team loyal? Which one of them are you tilting towards and why? Please leave that in the comment section so that we can continue this conversation. Other professionals will be happy to learn. I will be happy to learn from you as well. Well, thank you very much for watching this video, guys. Please do not forget to hit the subscribe button if you have not subscribed. This is a great time to hit subscribe, and if you want more content like this, please leave it in the comment section. If you have suggestions on other conversations that are similar to this that you want me to talk about, by all means leave that in the comment section and we will take it from there. I'll be in the comment section waiting to read all of your comments and sharing my ideas as well. Thank you very much again for watching this video, guys, and until I come your way in the next one, it's your girl Marina saying thank you and have an awesome day. Bye, guys.